Ladies and gentlemen, we're very happy to have you here again. Thank you for coming. This is How to Know Bible Prophecy, episode number 7. Beautiful number. My name is Philippe Paquette. I'll be your host. We say moderator, it doesn't matter. This is a production of okchrist.com, and thank you for being here again. And we have our beloved featured guest again with us, Robert Gauthier. And yes, we are French Canadians, ladies and gentlemen. But my mother always said that it's charming to be French Canadian. So we'll try and be as specific and pronounce as good as we can in English. But thank you for your patience. Robert, how are you, sir?
I am well. I wish I would speak English like you do. It'd be great.
Oh, that's okay. Sometimes I make mistakes too, you know. But I probably learned English when I was younger, much younger. In fact, I don't even remember learning English. That's because I live in Ottawa, and it's a bilingual country. So my friends were in both. I was a kid, not even going to school. And by the time I got to school, I was perfectly bilingual. And I don't remember learning English at all. But anyhow, Robert, let's start right now. What is the first topic today?
Well, I would like to speak about the names of Israel and Ephraim. These are two major names. So these are the names I would like to go into. But before we do that, I'd like to make like a condensed history of Israel. So maybe you could start by reading Genesis 12, verse 1 and 2, Phil.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely. Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. Now the Lord said to Abram, "Go forth from your country and from your relatives and from your father's house to the land which I will show you, and I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you and make your name great, and so you shall be a blessing."
So Phil, here the calling is to leave Ur of Chaldeans and to go to the promised land. And the Lord tells him, "I will make you a great nation." Now, this is the calling of Abraham, and this is very important. I would like to try to explain the word calling, what it means. So maybe I would like you to read a verse in Revelation. Please read chapter 17, verse 14.
For sure, with pleasure. Revelation chapter 17, verse 14. There will wage war against the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them, because he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And those who are with him are called and chosen and faithful.
Okay, so that's when the Lord comes back and deals with the great professional Christianity. He comes, and there's three terms there. Those that are with him, called, and faithful. Okay, now the calling, this is the most important thing. Calling is only for men. It implies grace. There is no calling for angels. The calling is only for men. Fallen angels, because they have left their first estate, cannot be called. Those who are the good angels that are faithful, they don't need to be called. They remain faithful. So the calling only applies to man, and it brings in grace on the part of God. It's an action of grace on God's part. So God now is calling Abraham. Okay, so the calling is only for men. So this is the first call we read in Genesis. So we are called of God.
Continue, Robert.
Okay, so now we've seen that Abraham was called. So now we're trying to make a summary, a little bit of Israel real fast. So Abraham marries with Sarah, and he has a child named Isaac. Isaac grow when he's older. Isaac will go out and he will marry Rebecca. Maybe, Phil, you could read in Genesis 24, verse 67.
With pleasure, sir. Genesis chapter 24, verse 67. Then Isaac brought her unto his mother Sarah's tent, and he took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. Thus Isaac was comforted after his mother's death.
So now Isaac is there with his new wife Rebecca, and they will have some children. Matter of fact, they will have twins. One of them is called Esau, and the other one is called Jacob. Now, there's a situation that happened that Jacob he got the first right, and because of that he had to flee away. So Rebecca tells him to go to their own country where she came from, and go there in hiding. So he goes there, and he meets what's his name now? So he's there right now, and there he meets Laban, which was the brother of Rebecca. So Laban has daughters, and Isaac likes very much Rachel. Okay, so Laban tells him, well, if you want Rachel, work for 1 week. So he did that, and afterwards, when it was time for him to receive Rachel, Laban told him, I'll give you Leah. And he said, well, that's not the arrangements. So he said, well, if you want Rachel, you'll have to work another week. So he worked another week, which meant 7 years. Okay, a week means 7 years there. So I'm telling you that because in prophecy, this is going to be important. So then he worked, and then he got his Rachel. He was very happy, but he didn't have enough cattle. So now Laban told him, if you want cattle, work another week. That is to say 7 years, which he did. Okay, so then by that time, Jacob just went away. And when he went away, by the time he went away, he was 21 years there. He had several children from Rachel, from the servant of Rachel, and from Leah, from her maid, from her servant also. Anyways, he ended up with 12 children. Okay, so now, Philip, this is important. Read Genesis 32, verse 28.
For sure. So we're talking about Jacob, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to make sure that everybody is following Robert. And Robert, I think we say Esau. And
okay, Esau.
I think we say Laban. Okay.
Laban. Okay.
Yeah, you're pronouncing it in French Laban, but it's Laban and
Yeah.
Esau.
Okay.
It's not Esau, it's Esau. Anyhow, let's read Genesis chapter 32, verse 28. He said, your name shall no longer be Jacob, but Israel. For you have striven with God and with men and have prevailed.
So this is a change of name. Jacob now, God calls him Israel, and Israel means a prince with God. So that's how we get the name Israel. It is Jacob's new name. Now, if you want to read Genesis 49, verse 1, Phil.
For sure. Genesis 49, verse 1, I will tell you what will befall. Sorry, let me say that again. I will tell you what will befall you at the end of days.
Very good. So this is Jacob now is on his deathbed, and he's gonna call in his 12 children, and he's gonna tell them by a prophecy how each tribe will behave at the end. It says here at the end of the days, at the end of time. So this is what he does. Now Israel is a generic name. It can either stand for the 12 tribes, the 12 sons of Jacob, and later on we will find that Israel will also stand for the 10 tribes only.
So we'll be coming up. Okay, go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, only the context will tell us these things. We'll come to these things.
Right.
Now the other term is like Israel will stand for the generic term. Israel is for the 12 tribes, but it will also stand later on for the 10 tribes. Okay.
But you're saying this because there will be a division. That's why. Go ahead, Robert.
I'm saying that because there will be a division. When this division will happen, there will be 10 tribes that will leave. They will leave, and these tribes will be called Ephraim. Now, Ephraim was one tribe, but it was the biggest tribe there, and Ephraim became the name of the 12 tribes. Maybe, Phil, you could read.
Did you say the name of the 12 tribes?
Ephraim, no, the name of the 10 tribes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if you want to, just to illustrate that, maybe we'll go to Isaiah chapter 7, verse 1 and 2.
Absolutely. Isaiah chapter 7, verses 1 and 2. And it came to pass in the days of Ahaz, the son of Jotam, the son of Uzziah, king of Judah, that the king of Syria, and Pekah, the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, came up to Jerusalem to make war against it, but they were not able to fight against it. And it was told the house of David, of the house of David, saying, Syria is allied with Ephraim.
Okay, so there we have the king of Judah, and with him, the king of Syria allies himself. Okay, and at the end of the verse, you read Syria is allied with Ephraim. So Syria went with Ephraim.
That's right. That's very interesting. So Ephraim, yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Robert.
No, that's good. That's good.
Okay, so Ephraim again is now 10 tribes, right? Is that correct?
Ephraim is the 10 tribes, yeah.
Okay, and I think we should read a verse in Hosea chapter 6, verse 4, that shows that division. And let me read that verse. Is that okay, Robert?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What shall I do unto thee, Ephraim? What shall I do unto thee, Judah? Now, we've got the division right there. Go ahead.
That's clear. That's clear. Ephraim is the 10 tribes, and Judah is the 2 remaining tribes. The 2 remaining tribes will be Judah and Benjamin. Now we're getting to the most important part here. So I would like you to go to 1 Kings 12, verse 16.
Yes, that's a very short verse. 1 Kings 12.
Oh, yes.
16.
Oh, yes.
To your tents, O Israel.
To your tents, O Israel. This created the greatest division that Israel has ever known. Before that calling, they were all together. They were 12 tribes. But there came a time when the tribe split. And this is the occasion. To your tents, O Israel.
And in this case, we're talking about Ephraim. We're talking about the 10 tribes. Therefore, from this moment, Israel is identified with the 10 tribes. Am I correct?
Yes, yeah. From that moment, Israel is identified with the 10 tribes. Now, what caused this? What's the reason for this? Well, David had a son, Solomon, and Solomon reigned, and Solomon had two sons.
Solomon, yes, continue.
Yeah, Solomon, yeah. He had two sons, Rehoboam and Jeroboam, okay? Now, Rehoboam is the one that had the throne in Jerusalem, okay? And so what happened is that they got together at one time, and Jeroboam said to Rehoboam, "What will you do for us? Will you lighten the burden, because your father has taxed us much?" And Rehoboam said, "I will consult." And so he called in the elder people, and the elder people told him, be good to the people, and they will serve you forever. And then he consulted the young people, and the young people told Rehoboam, no, Rehoboam, you must increase the burden. You must tax them more. So what happened is that he listened to the young people and did not take the counsels of the elder people. And this is where the saying is, to your tent, O Israel. So the 10 tribes left, and that was it.
And Robert, can we name those 2 tribes?
Yes, the 2 tribes that remained, which is called Judah. Okay, well, there was Judah and there was Benjamin. These are the 2 tribes that remained with Rehoboam. But the other 10 tribes went with Jeroboam. And when he said, to your tents, O Israel, he meant the 10 tribes. So the 10 tribes broke away and became completely independent from Jerusalem. So now you get the king of Judah and you get the king of Israel. So there's your split. Jeroboam is the king for Israel, the 10 tribes, and Rehoboam is the king for Judah, the 2 tribes.
So what we actually find here is on one part Israel, 10 tribes, and on the other, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe from memory that the 2 tribes, and you said it was Judah and Benjamin, they're called the House of David. Am I right?
Yes, it's called the House of David. Yeah. That's their name. The House of David is the 2 tribes. The House of Israel is the 10 tribes.
Okay, that's very important. So the House of David is the 2 tribes, and so this is a clear major division in the history and the splitting of Israel, ladies and gentlemen. And it's important to understand, and you'll see why in the coming episodes and in Bible prophecy. Now, Robert, can you give us a little bit more about the history of the splitting of the House of David?
Yes, maybe we could read a few verses. Let's say 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 21 and 22, if you can read.
2 Kings 17.
Yes.
I don't think I have that one with me. Do you have that one, Robert?
Yes, I have it. Yeah.
Go ahead. You read it.
Okay. When he had torn Israel from the house of David, they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king. Then Jeroboam drove Israel away from the following the Lord and made them commit a great sin. The son of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did, and they did not depart from them.
Okay, continue.
So, when Jeroboam left, the 10 tribes left with him. But he committed a great sin, Phil. And this sin which he committed is idolatry. So maybe you could read 1 Kings 12, verse 25 to 31.
Okay, and Robert, you tell me, what number are you at currently?
7:12. 7:12.
Oh, I was at 7:7. I'm sorry. Thank you. Yes, 1 Kings 12, did you say?
Yes, 1 Kings 12, verse 25 to verse 31.
Absolutely. 1 King 12, 25 to 31. And Jeroboam built Shechem in Mount Ephraim and dwelt therein, and went out from thence and built Penuel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David. If this people go up to sacrifice in the house of Jehovah at Jerusalem, the heart of his people will turn again to their Lord, to Rehoboam, king of Judah, and they will kill him and return to Rehoboam, king of Judah. And the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold. And he said to them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold, thy gods, Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Amazing. And he set the one in Babel, and the other he put in Dan. And this thing became a sin, of course. And the people went to worship before the one as for his Dan. And he made a house of high places and made priests and all classes of people who were not the sons of Levi. Major division
Yes.
and major problem here.
Oh yeah, it's a new religion. You see, it's a new. We're creating a new place of worship. We're creating a new god, 2 calves, the animals to be worshipped, and Jeroboam would pick up anyone to be a priest. He didn't care, as long as people didn't go back to Jerusalem. You see, he was afraid that people would go back to Jerusalem, and he would lose his 10 tribes. So that's why he did that. So that was the greatest sin that was ever committed. Now, Phil, I know it's a little bit complicated with Rehoboam and Jeroboam. I used to get all mixed up with these names, and
well,
I found
they're very similar indeed. It is confusing.
Oh yes. So Jeroboam is the one who will reign. No, excuse me. Rehoboam is the one who will reign. R-E for reign. Rehoboam is the one who reigns. Jeroboam is the one who made the split to your 10 to Israel. So to remember him, I call him a janitor. G for Jeroboam. So one, Rehoboam he reigns. He's the king in Judah. And Jeroboam is the janitor. He's the one who left with the 10 tribes. He's the one who is now making a false religion. Does that help?
Well, it does actually, because it's R and J, Jeroboam and Rehoboam, and Rehoboam, of course, is reign, so he's the king of 2 tribes, and Jeroboam, he's the janitor king. Let's put it that way, and he is the head of the 10 tribes. So we'll remember that. The reigning king and the janitor king. Okay.
Right. And the janitor king, Jeroboam, is the one who made the division. He's the one that instituted in the 10 tribes a completely new religion, idol worshiping. Okay. So the Israel, which is the 10 tribes, are now walking faithfully to the Lord. They are idol worshiping. And this will grow. This will grow.
I just want to make sure we understood right. They're walking unfaithfully to the Lord, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, they're having these idols.
Yes, I thought you said faithfully, but unfaithfully.
Unfaithfully. Yes.
So the 10 tribes are unfaithful. It's like a rebellion. It's like a revolution. It's like a rejection of Jehovah.
Yes, this is it. Now, what will happen to these 10 tribes because they are rebellious is very simple. God will call in a nation, which is called the Assyrian or Assyria. He will call in Assyria and he will take these 10 tribes and the Assyrian will bring them north, completely north. So they're not found anymore. Just to give you an example, maybe read 2 Kings verse 17. No, 2 Kings 17 verse 22, Phil.
Yeah, for sure. 2 Kings verse 17, I'll read from 22 to 24.
Yeah.
And the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, the janitor king, which he did. They did not depart from them until Jehovah had removed Israel, the 10 tribes, the same ones, we're talking about the same ones here, out of his sight, as he had said through all his servants, the prophets. And Israel, same ones, the 10 tribes, was carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day. Now, this is extremely important. And I'm finishing my portion. And the king of Assyria brought people from Babylon and from Kuta and from Ava or Ava, A-V-V-A, and from Hamath and from Sepharvaim, and made them dwell in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria and dwelt in its city.
Well, if you study the history of the invasion by the Assyrians, they had a way of doing things. When they invaded a country and they were victorious, they would take everybody. Everybody was going away. They would bring them north, and they would take people from the north and they would install them. Okay, so the 10 tribes were taken away and they were replaced by all these other nations from the north. And they were in what we call Samaria. Okay, so those that live in Samaria were being imported from the north. But the main thing to remember is that when the 10 tribes were brought in the north, in Assyria, it is said they are there unto this day.
Yes.
The 10 tribes are there until this day, unto this day.
That's right.
Now there's many people who speak about the 10 tribes, and they will tell you they are in England, they are here, they are there. But we got to stick to scripture.
That's right.
And
we only have, go ahead. We only have 3 minutes left, but in a nutshell, I want to make sure that this is clear. Jeroboam, okay, the janitor king, 10 tribes, and the people rebelled with the 10 northern tribes, breaking away and forming a separate kingdom. The new breakaway kingdom continued to be called the Kingdom of Israel. We've established that. It was also called, I believe, sometimes Samaria, funny enough. It was also called Ephraim, and it was also called the Northern Kingdom. We're talking about the same 10 tribes. The realm Rehoboam was left with what was called the king of Judah. That's the 2 tribes. This is a great history and the important division for the entire 12 tribes of Israel. It's extremely important to understand in our future episodes talking about Bible prophecy, because we must differ, which is, we must, how did you say it, Robert, again? Distinguish what differs. That's correct. This is a great history of the division of the 12 tribes. And we have music playing, 2 minutes left. Tell us, why do you relate this important turnover of events? Why? In just 1 minute.
In a nutshell, it's very simple. When the Lord will come to Jerusalem, there will be the 2 tribes there. The 10 tribes are still lost. Okay. Therefore, those who crucified the Lord are the 2 tribes, not the 10 tribes. And therefore, we will learn in the next session that the judgment is always greater on the one who has sinned the most. So the 2 tribes, they crucified the Lord. They said, we will not have him to reign over us. The 10 tribes, they're not there. They're not even there.
That's amazing. I really am sorry that our 30 minutes is almost up. So we do have to stop here, Robert. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited for the next episode because we want to talk about that. This is what Robert just said is very, very important. Very surprising to me also, but it clarifies many things in Bible prophecy. So we have to say goodbye, and we want to say blessed may you be this week. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next Friday. And we're here every Fridays at 2. And please subscribe. And Robert, can I say thank you to you, sir, and have a good week?
Thank you very much, Phil. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, and have a nice week, ladies and gentlemen. We love you. Remember that.